Months after President Yoweri Museveni declared that Uganda had crossed into lower middle-income status, the World Bank continues to classify Uganda as a low-income economy. But beyond the debate over economic classifications, how do people in Kampala survive when their income is not enough to meet the rising cost of living?
It's a global phenomenon, I think, since COVID, whereas the global economy has been on a recovery trajectory. There have also been challenges. You see the war between Ukraine and Russia, the war between the US, Israel, and Iran. All these things have an effect of disrupting global supply chains, increasing the cost of production, increasing the cost of inputs.
For many low-income earners, rising costs of rent, food, transport and school fees are putting more pressure on their incomes. This has been worsened by higher taxes, including 200 shillings more per litre of fuel, 100 shillings more per kilogram of sugar, and 200 shillings more per litre of cooking oil. James Olinga is a salesman at a furniture solutions company. He has earned 400,000 shillings a month for the past 6 years. He is married and a father of 2. We asked him how he manages to support his family on this income. Olinga broke down his monthly expenses for us: rent, school fees, food, transport, and the money he sets aside for daily household needs, locally known as Sente za Kameza. When added up, his expenses come to more than 3 times his monthly salary.
My madam also, she understands the situation. Immediately when she gets her money, we normally share. She can even get before me. When she gets before me, we can use her money. Then that very money of hers, even we have something that we save for our family. But our savings, we don't have a bank account. We just collect some money. When it reaches like 500, then I send to the village, they get from me my cargot from there. That cargot is the one that I can keep it for the farm.
Olinga has turned to farming as a safety net. He has several goats and cows, which he says he sells when the family faces urgent financial needs. For another Kampala resident, one job is simply not enough to make ends meet. A 30-year-old waiter, who asked to remain anonymous, earns about 500,000 shillings a month and supports 3 women who have children with him.
I don't live with them. Yeah. They're with their mothers. No, they're all.
So do you parent for each mother?
Yeah.
During the day, he works as a waiter. At night, he distributes shisha to different bars around Kampala. He says the pressure of meeting his daily needs has left little time for sleep.
In most cases, if you want soft life in Kampala, you have to, like, I have like 3 to 4 jobs I do in a day. So you have to be like creative. You should be like learn how to save the money that you work for. You save for the future.
These stories reflect the difficult choices facing many low-income earners in Kampala, where the cost of basic necessities can quickly outpace monthly incomes. For low-income workers, rising food and transport costs put more pressure on their budgets. Government has raised the payee tax-free threshold to 335,000 shillings to ease their burden. But for many Ugandans working in the private sector and informal sectors, income remains uncertain and largely dependent on how businesses and the wider economy perform. So, as the cost of living continues to bite, what can low-income earners do to stay afloat?
If you already have an income, you already have a job, it is easier to start by interrogating what you're spending on and trying to see that you minimize. You can look at substitutes. For instance, if you're taking sugar, you need to ask yourself, should I be taking sugar in the morning, in the evening, and stuff? You know, if you're leaving lights on, if you're living extravagantly, what can you're going out for, you're spending more on entertainment than you should. You see, because you see the challenge also is that low-income earners are the ones that spend the most on consumption. Yes. So the rich tend to be very frugal.
Walugembe advises low-income earners to look beyond their regular salaries and develop additional sources of income to cushion themselves against rising costs.
The world is evolving. See, you can bring a new way of doing something that has been done in a traditional manner and you make your entry. So I don't think people should look at that. It's like if you're doing exams and you say, how many people are sitting? You maybe in Uganda, I should not even sit because there are 300,000 candidates. I mean, everyone has their, you see. So you should move if you see an opportunity. Don't just copy because you think it will make money, but if you think there's an opportunity and you think that you can do something differently and better, then by all means you should do it.
For many families in Kampala, surviving on a low income means finding extra sources of income and cutting back on daily expenses. Beata Moema, NTV Weekend Edition.